Hello! We're going to talk a lot about a new yarn called Neighborhood Fiber Company. This just arrived at Stephen and Penelope, and we got a lot of new colors. So we first debuted this yarn with a lot of solids in their organic rustic fingering base, a rainbow of beautiful saturated semi-solids, and we just got a lot of new colors with these splashy, speckled, and variegated color styles. So in this video, we're going to take a look at some of the colors up close and talk about what we can do with this beautiful yarn, how you can mix different color palettes together, and I'll give you some pattern recommendations to see what we can knit with these beauties. So let's take a look up close. I just grabbed one of my favorite colors. This is a new one that just arrived for us called Legacy, and I love how multicolored it is. This blue stone slate kind of color, and it has these beautiful aubergine, rust, and grungy green speckles to it as well. So this yarn is really fluffy, and it's a fingering weight base. And if you've knit with single ply merino before, this base is a little bit more fluffy. It's spun a little bit more loosely, and it has a really lovely cushy quality to it. So every skein is organic merino, 100% merino, and it has 475 yards, which is about 434 meters. So there's really generous yardage on here, and I usually knit this yarn on a US 4 or US 5 needle, which is a 3.5, 3.75 millimeter for shawls, okay? If you're gonna do a sweater, I would maybe stick around that US 4, 3.5 millimeter range, or maybe even a US 3. But what I like about this yarn is it's so soft and fluffy, so if you wanna knit it on a looser gauge, like a US 6 or a 4 millimeter needle, it's gonna look really good because the stitches really fluff out with these soft fibers. So let's take a look at some colors. What's going to look good with this Legacy colorway? So usually what I do when I see these multicolored types of yarns are I pick colors from it and exaggerate those tones. So we've got Legacy. I just grabbed Oakley, which is a really beautiful rusty orange. And we need to find some purple. Maybe one of these purples. Or I'm liking this darker one. We'll maybe save this one for later. This is the Hamilton colorway, a beautiful deep aubergine purple with violet tones to it. And where can I get that green, that grungy green? We've got a lime. Ooh, this is, usually I go really bright. Maybe we could do both. I mean, I really like that. But this is really speaking to me, this moody, lush color range. This is called Logan Circle. It's like an olive green with brown tones. So I think that would be nice. Okay, we've got 4 colors. That's enough to do a shawl. So I think 4 colors, that would be really beautiful for a winter lights shawl. This shawl uses 1 color as the main color with 3 contrast colors. So maybe we do that beautiful first color I chose, Legacy. That could be that light, that main color here. And then these 3 accent colors could be the little slip stitch pops. I think that would be a gorgeous winter lights shawl. Another shawl that uses just 4 skeins of yarn is a classic Exploration Station. Let's take a look at that one. Ooh, this is fun. This uses the same idea where there's like a main color throughout the whole shawl and 3 accent colors. So I might do the same thing, but what I'm noticing with this palette I just chose is this Oakley colorway. This is the most different color from those blue, green, purple tones. This one really pops out. So I might use this one as my main color. Do you see that dark line, color A? I think I would use my orange for that. And then I'd use Legacy, Hamilton, and Logan Circle as my contrast colors. So that's really fun with 4 colors. Using 3 or 4 skeins of yarn is plenty to do a big sized shawl, but 5 skeins will make it even bigger and more lush. So if we add that original electric kind of magenta color that I pulled, this is DuPont Circle, this would make a really fun Vertices Unite. So 5 skeins is gonna make a big size shawl like Vertices Unite. This is one of my favorite Westknits shawls to knit because you can use any yarns and it's gonna look amazing. So you could do really bright colors or really moody, murky tones, and you can mix solids with those speckled variegated yarns. So I've got 5 colors right here. I think these would be really fun, or maybe we could spice it up with that lime that I pulled. I think that would be good. This is called Bel Air. this lime green. Or maybe that would be fun. Or if we get really spicy, what if we take away those dark ones and just make it really bright and flashy? I think something like this would be really fun. Maybe this orange, we could do a blue instead, or a gold. Ooh, I love yellow. Okay, I'm gonna stick with this yellow. So these colors are, we have the purple DuPont circle, Bel Air is the lime, Oliver is that golden color. It's super deep, really delicious. And this is Mondawmin, and this is Canton. A lot of the colorways from Neighborhood Fiber Company are named after like local landmarks and streets and areas in the East Coast area. So these are all hand dyed in Baltimore, Maryland. And I just love the color names and the saturation that Karita gets with her color style. So 5 colors, I think this is gonna make a really good Vertices Unite, or it could be a shawlography, shawl as well. So those solid colors are really gonna splash out and become really vivid and contrasty. Now, one thing that I really like with the color range of this yarn is there's these really strong solids, but what to do with these variegated speckled types of yarns? These are always really busy and crazy and splashy. What I usually like to do is mix these busy yarns with solid yarns, so you can break up that busyness with some clear contrast. So let's just lay out some of my favorite little splashy moments going on and just see what we're feeling. Okay, we've got this green. This one's really special. It's got so many colors in it. And I think that's vibing off of this kind of rusty coral moment. We'll save those for later. Okay, let's take a look. This one's really inspiring me with those green and purple tones. So maybe we exaggerate that and we could break it up. What about that emerald? Ooh, I really like this shade. Ooh, okay, now this is becoming a story. We've got jewel tones and then light multicolors. What else could we do? I mean, I always love that lime, but let's keep it really dark and juicy. Ooh, I like this fuchsia. Okay, here we go. I think this is looking really cool. So we've got some solids, some multicolors. You could do this again for Vertices Unite, or you could do some stripy, simple garter stitch shawl. And these multicolors are called Basquiat. And this one is called Alice Gadzinski. And we have Truxton Circle. It's a really saturated purple. You purple lovers are gonna love this one. It's really glowing with that rich purple tone. And Observatory Circle is like a wine burgundy tone. And Rock Creek Park is this beautiful green. So I think this is really singing. We're picking up off of those tones and playing with the solids broken up with multicolor yarns. So that would be a cool Vertices Unite. But if you really want to focus on just the splashy types of colors, then I think the faded types of designs are going to be the best ones to feature that blendy, multicolor, melted style. So let's say bye-bye to those solids. And what can we do? I'm just going to grab a bunch of other splashy tones, and maybe we can do some blended moments with all of these options. Okay, so what I'm looking at right now is I think this is a really strong story. So whenever you're working with these splashy colors and collecting single skeins, I usually just put them from light to dark. And we have Stephen Towns, Stephen with a PH. Oh, I knew I loved that color. And we've got Basquiat, Alice Gadzinski, and that would be a beautiful 3-skein shawl, like a meshy twist, or it could be a dotted raise, fading from light to dark. And that's often a go-to shawl of mine, where if you have a dotted raise like this, you can knit this shawl as big as you want, and you could just get 3 skeins of a color pop, like this Georgetown colorway. You could get 3 skeins, and that's enough to do a big dotted raise, or you could fade 3 skeins from light to dark. So that dotted raise, I think, would look really cool with Stephen Towns, Basquiat, Alice Gadzinski, or maybe, I'm really loving this coral tone. So what if I think I'm liking this a little better. Look at that. This is Gwyn Oak, and that really brings that warm coral color throughout all the skeins and would be a really smooth transition for a dotted raise. What else? Smocket, cafe knitting. Those are all some of my 3-skein fade shawls. But I really like that 3 skein sequence of colors. How many more can we find? Let's see, maybe a purpley one. This one's really splashy and purpley. I think something like this could be fun. Ooh, this one's got blue in it. Ooh, now I'm getting inspired. Ooh, no, I like these blue tones. Where can we take that? Maybe with, ooh, this is becoming like oceanic and stormy. So this is the Swoon colorway. We've got Chamois, and we have Washington Circle. So I think these 3 blues would be really nice, can fade and make an oceanic color story. And if you add a couple more, what if we squeeze in this Fog Point colorway? And what about going back to that Legacy? I think that could be nice. So this could be like a really nice sea swell shawl if you have 5 skeins faded together. Oh, maybe do a sea swell with like a vibrant blue border. So yeah, 5 skein fades will make a really big shawl. So if you find 5 colors, like the purples or the blues that you like, then you could do a really nice chevron shenanigans. So this is one of my garter stitch shawl designs with chevron increases and decreases, and you use 5 colorways from light to dark for the chevron shenanigans. So that's always a good big go-to garter stitch shawl to knit, that chevron shenanigans. But this is just getting really fun. There's a lot you can do with this palette because there's so many tones, really bright ones. You can go all in the same color family. I'm getting a little bit out of hand with all these colors. Okay, let's focus, let's focus. Let's go with these greens. I mean, I love what's going on here. Or maybe that multicolor could be really fun. So yeah, it's just so much fun when you mix single skeins, and I have so many patterns that are designed to use single skeins because that's how I collect yarn. When you're looking at a website or looking at the shop, it's hard sometimes to know what you're gonna do with it. So when I'm shopping for yarn, I usually shop in palettes, and I'll get 3 skeins that look good together, and I know that those could be like a 3 skein shawl. But honestly, when they get to my stash, they always mix and mingle with other colors that I have. So I have a reason to get yarn, but then what I actually do with it is another story. Do you knit like that? So I'm definitely a yarn collector, and I give myself the excuse to collect yarn because I think, oh, that could be a Vertices Unite. All right, that's gonna be cool. But it usually turns out to be something different when I add other colors to it. Oh my gosh, what did I just do? Oh my gosh, I love this. Okay, we've got 7 colors. What to do with this many yarns? We've got Broadway Market, Oakley, Bel Air, Canton, Rosemont, Mondawmin, and Georgetown. This is just a saturated rainbow, and for 7 skeins, my go-to shawl is the FANTASTITCH. So this is a really big semicircular design with lots of fun slip stitches and stripes, and one of those patterns where you never get bored because the textures are always changing. And 7 colors is how this pattern is written. You could do it with more leftovers and color pops if you want. Add them to your palette from your stash. But I tell you exactly what to do with 7 colors. And if you pick a rainbow of just really fun, scrappy single skeins, that's going to give you a vibrant rainbow effect, like this FANTASTITCH shawl. So I am really digging this. I might have to do some yarn collecting this week. It's just so fun when you start mixing the colors, because you'll find these colors that intrigue you, but you might not know what to do with only one color or one skein. Am I gonna knit a lime green sweater? I mean, probably, I did. But you might not do a lime green sweater or a vibrant, just solid blue sweater. I mean, that'd be amazing, but that's a big commitment to get like 6 or 7 skeins of one color. So what I do is collect lots of single skeins, and then when they mix together and invite other colors from your stash into the palette, you get these really fun color effects for FANTASTITCH and Exploration Station and those contrasty types of shawls. All right, let's take a look at one other shawl design that I made a couple years ago, and I just saw this one in my shawl cabinet. Yes, I have a shawl cabinet. I have a primary shawl cabinet, and then I have like a backup shawl cabinet where I put my emergency shawls. So my primary one has my favorites. So I found this MOSAIC MUSINGS shawl, And this is a really easy shawl to knit because there's all these really simple garter stitch breaks in the pattern and these mosaic slip stitches, which mean you only have to work with one color at a time and you only have to choose 2 colors. So Mosaic Musings is a large, beautiful shawl. You're gonna need 2 skeins of each color, but all you have to do is pick 2 colors. So I recommend picking a solid and a multicolor yarn. So I grabbed some palettes. I got this semi-solid, that Rock Creek Park colorway, and I was just so inspired because it had these blue turquoise moments to it. And then if you mix it with this Swoon colorway, I think something like this would be really fun. You're getting good contrast. Or you could do 2 skeins of this Canton colorway. That would be really crispy and beautiful as well. So when in doubt, you could just stick in the color family and get a light green and a dark green, or a light purple and a dark purple. And that's going to be a really good choice for you to do the Mosaic Musings. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, I grabbed this beautiful neutral. This is the Earnest Shawl colorway, Earnest Shawl. It's a really soft, misty gray with brown, rusty speckles. And I would pair that with this Oakley colorway. I think this would make a really beautiful, warm-colored Mosaic Musings shawl. So when you're looking at your colors for those contrast designs, you can always take a black and white photo of your yarns. And when you're looking at that black and white photo, if you see contrast in the colors, then you're gonna get contrast in your shawl. But I never do that. I recommend it. It helps. It's a tool you can use. Snap a black and white photo, but I just look at the yarns and say, I love it. I want to knit with that, and then I knit with it. And if it's not the #1 most beautiful color combo that you've ever knitted with, then you get to knit another shawl after that. And that's why I love knitting, because you can rip it out, knit another one, and just try all these different color palettes. And yeah, it's not about knitting one perfect thing. It's about exploring and experiencing new color combinations that you haven't tried before. And you're gonna find and refine your color taste and color style. But yeah, I really like those warm, rustic colors. And it's a really easy pattern to choose yarns for. Just 2 colors, 2 skeins of each for the Mosaic Musings. Well, I'm drowning in yarn and I have all these color options and I don't know what I want to start next. So I think I'm just going to collect some single skeins. I really like that Legacy and these bright colors. One thing I just love about Neighborhood Fiber Company is how saturated and how bold they are with color. So this is your chance to use their palette like paint and explore different color combinations together. And don't stress out, okay? Just say yes, don't stress. It's just yarn. Have some fun with colors. And if you're intrigued by any of these color stories, you can find all the colors at stephenandpenelope.com. And if you're ever looking for color combo advice, you can always send us an email at info@stephenandpenelope.com. And we put custom color palettes together a lot. So if you saw some vibes from here that you liked, just say, I want a beautiful green mermaid jewel tone shawl, and we'll put together an option for you. So, all right, what color to knit with first? I don't know, you let me know. Did you have a favorite color from what I showed? You can comment down below on what some of your favorite colors were. I think we have almost all their colors now. I don't know, they have dozens of colors. We have a lot of them, but there might be some we're missing out on. So whatever your favorite Neighborhood Fiber Company color is, feel free to comment down below and let me know what you're gonna knit with these beautiful yarns. So thanks for watching, and I'll make more of these fun yarn feature videos in the future, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.